$188 still left, man.
Yo, this is a Big Mike, not the mass man, the health man. Are you one of the 40 million people suffering with joint issues like rheumatoid arthritis or osteoarthritis? Well, you are listening to the right ad. You have the ailment, we have the remedy. Call us now on 288-8301 or 346-2612.
Don't forget to tune in right here on the street 919 FM every Wednesday from 10:05 a.m.
Performance, Beatles Talk.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
And how beautiful we are, but a near of yeah. Oh, the clothing line features t-shirts, checks, polos and shirts. Oh, dashiki, lady v-neck, lady tank top, and baby jeans, yeah. Dresses and
Ikaro, I am Alatumishe Ifabamishe Aganki, better known as MC Duke, and every Monday between the hours of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. I host a show called Orisha, The Way of Life, right here on the Sheet 919 FM, where I have guests passing through from the Orisha Ifa Baptist Diaspora to educate, edify, and inform you, the listening public, about Orisha Ifa practices. So remember to tune in every Monday between the hours of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. for Orisha, The Way of Life.
Sell your sin for grace. and God of my salvation, star of all night, and hope of every nation, hear and receive thy church. see wrong.
Bẹ̀lẹ́kẹ́ òkú ìgbọ́nà bákèrè olówó ẹ̀yọ èṣù ní kórè wá ẹlẹ́gbàrà ní tòbí lọ bẹ́lẹ̀kẹ́ ní dàrá orò sáwò nílé èṣù máa ṣẹ́ mi ọmọ ẹ̀lẹ́ omi ní òṣè èṣù máa ṣẹ́ wá.
Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀
bẹ̀lẹ́kẹ́
èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀.
Nobody can take my joy away. I am born to be happy. Every single wish I supply for me is enough to be jolly. God no need to be worried, no. Cause life is a blessing, no. My life is a blessing, no.
Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀.
Asana.
Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀.
Agena.
Every morning I awake, I give thanks to my glory. Èṣù lánàá ìhù makes all doors open up for me. Bad energies, no room for you, oh no. All good things I must get through.
Ọmọ ẹ̀ ló ìran ní òṣè. Ọ̀la ìlú. Èṣù bá lè kọ̀ ọ̀wọ́ ìlú. Òró ìlú. Ọ̀la ìlú. Ọba ẹ̀ bọ̀rà nílẹ̀ kẹ́tọ́. Èṣù bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ̀ orúkún. Ẹlẹ́gbàrà ní bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ̀ òrùsà. Ẹlẹ́gbàrà ní bẹ́ẹ̀ bọ̀ orúkún òrùsà. Oníbòde.
Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀.
Bẹ̀lẹ́kẹ́.
Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀.
Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀.
Èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀ èṣù dẹ́ọ̀dẹ́ọ̀.
Èṣù dẹ́ bàbá. Èṣù dẹ́ bàbá. Èṣù dẹ́ bàbá.
Wọ́n lè wá egungun ìbá o wọlé o.
Egungun
persecution, horrors, Wolewa. When they try to oppress me, humiliate and stop me, Wolewa. I pour libation and send my supplication into the spirit realm. Wolewa, 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 Egungu, Wolewa, ancestor, Wolewa, 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 Egungu, Wolewa. On their shoulders I'm standing strong. Never will they let me down, Wolewa. They see my tears, they feel my pain. With patience I'll rise again, Wolewa. I must stay focused to fulfill my purpose, and I will conquer all. Ancestor, rituals or something. Hear us. Come to our aid. Hear me.
oh diviner. I want to see mother face. I want to see she face. see mother. I see she.
Yo, Alex.
Omi awa iba jani iba bo sise osun sile Omi awa iba jani iba bo sise agbatani Omi awa iba jani iba bo sise osun sile Omi awa iba janiye, iba bo sise agbatani. Omi awa iba jani, iba bo sise osun sile. Omi awa iba janiye, iba bo sise agbatani. Omi awa iba jani, iba bo sise osun sile.
Omi àwa ìbàjàníyẹ, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ àgbàtà ni.
Omi àwa ìbàjàní, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ òṣùṣìlẹ̀. Omi àwa ìbàjàníyẹ, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ àgbàtà ni.
Omi àwa ìbàjàní, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ òṣùṣìlẹ̀. Omi àwa ìbàjàníyẹ, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ àgbàtà ni.
Omi àwa ìbàjàní, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ òṣùṣìlẹ̀. Omi àwa ìbàjàní, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ àgbàtà ni.
Omi àwa ìbàjàní, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ òṣùṣìlẹ̀. Omi àwa ìbàjàníyẹ, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ àgbàtà ni.
Omi àwa ìbàjàní, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ òṣùṣìlẹ̀. Omi àwa ìbàjàní, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ àgbàtà ni.
Omi àwa ìbàjàní, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ òṣùṣìlẹ̀. Omi àwa ìbàjàníyẹ, ìbàbọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ àgbàtà ni.
Mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀ bá dọ̀ yẹ̀yẹ̀ o. Mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀ bá dọ̀ yẹ̀yẹ̀ o. Mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀ bá dọ̀ yẹ̀yẹ̀ o.
Mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀ bá dọ̀ yẹ̀yẹ̀ o.
Mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀ bá dọ̀ yẹ̀yẹ̀ o.
Mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀ bá dọ̀ yẹ̀yẹ̀ o.
Mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀ bá dọ̀ yẹ̀yẹ̀ o.
Mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀ bá dọ̀ yẹ̀yẹ̀ o.
Mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀ bá dọ̀ yẹ̀yẹ̀ o.
Mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀ bá dọ̀ yẹ̀yẹ̀ o.
Mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀rọ̀ mi máa yọ, mọ̀ bá dọ̀ yẹ̀yẹ̀ o.
Mọ̀rọ̀
Shagashi. Shagashi. Ololo odi yeye oshun. Ashe oshun. Ashe oshun olodo. Ashe oshun. Shagashi oshun. Ashe oshun olodo. Ashe oshun olodo. Ololo odi yeye. Yeye oshun. Ashe oshun. Ashe oshun. Ashe oshun olodo. Ashe oshun olodo. Ashe oshun. Ashe oshun olodo. Ashe oshun.
Ancestors, we call on you to fight the fight on our behalf. Ancestors, we call on you to walk on our enemies. Asheo. All the way from Africa land, they come in, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. Walk on them, 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 Aruba ancestors, 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 walk on them, 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 walk on them. Ancestors, we call on you. Ancestors, we call on you. You came across the middle passage. Ancestors, we call on you. Some are shown up about some are show. Ancestors, we call on you. From this land of Trinidad, great warriors, we call on you. Walk on them, 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 Aruba ancestors, 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 walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. Great mother, we call on you. Iwer, we call on you. Your children crying, grieving. Great mother, we call on you. When we bought this libation, we stood up for the nation. From the four corners of Trinidad, great mothers, we call on you. Walk on them, 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 Aruba ancestors, 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 walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them. All the way from Africa land, they come in, they come in. All the way from Africa land, they come in to walk on them.
Aboro aboye aboshishe. We are here once again on the Street 919 FM for the Ifa Orisha Way of Life radio program right here on the Street 919 FM. You know, as usual, I have my co-host here, my brother, my friend, King Shaka. He's here, as always, at my side, where we are imparting the knowledge and the information. You know, we are streaming live on the Street 919 FM Facebook page. We're also streaming live on Iwer TV on YouTube. So, pleasant good night to each and every one. You know. Shaka, lead us with the Iba, please.
Ekabo, everyone, welcome. Before we start, I'll just say that according to Okara Onwari, Ifa says that Olodumare is the universal spirit guiding this world.
Ashe.
So I say Iba Olodumare. Iba to our Ori. May our Ori continue to support us and locate wisdom and prosperity for us.
Ashe.
Iba to our parents, our mothers, our fathers, those who brought us into this world. Iba to our ancestors, our ancestors whose shoulders we stand upon. Without them, we would not be here.
Ben.
Iba to my Uluwo, Araba Osho. Iba to one's Uluwo as well. Iba to my Yanifa Yeag Bobomola Ulumitutu Ida Oshun. Iba to my Ojubona Baba Upakunle Fakoya. And Iba to one's Ojub Onan Yanifa as well. We pay homage to Barami Agboniregun, Oren Mela, Eleri Pui, Ibikeji Olodumare. The witness to faith and second in command to Olodumare. We pay homage. We pay homage to Yeye Oshun, Ore Yeye, our sweet mother, whose sweet waters continue to sustain us. We pay homage to Orishanla, Epa Orisha, the mold of the human form, the Orisha of wisdom, knowledge and understanding. May wisdom and understanding locate us where we are. We pay homage to Kabiesi Shango, Ulukusolalu, Arigbata Shegun. May Shango, the famous one of the city, the one who uses thunderstones to defeat enemies. May our enemies be no more in our lives. We pay homage to our sweet mother, Yemonja. May nurturing and comfort continue to meet us. As we start this session of the Ifa Orisha way of life, we ask these positive energies to continue to guide us, to protect us, to help us locate positivity, locate wisdom, locate understanding, locate all good things. According to Ifa, in Ika Otura, Ifa tells us that we must be faithful and we must be steadfast to the instruction given to us by Olodumare and the Orisha and the ancestors. Because Ifa says in Ika Otura, good fortune would locate us when we are obedient.
Benny.
So despite whatever sector or of society a person is, and we hear this word obedience, obedience is Olodumare's first law.
Benny.
And according to Ika Otura, Ifa tells us that when Ika Otura came to earth, Ika Otura did not complete all the Ebo prescribed in heaven. And when Ika Otura came to earth and he went to his Babalawo for Ifa consultation, the Babalawo told him that he must be faithful and he must complete what he was sent on earth to do. And the Babalawo told him as well, go ahead and divine and do it to the best of your ability. So one day Olodumare disguised himself in the human form and came to earth as a beggar. And he went to other Babalawos without money for help. And he was turned away by many until he went to the home of Ika Otura. And Ika Otura, despite Olodumare disguising himself as a beggar, despite the appearance of Olodumare, he opened his doors and divined for him. And when the Ebo was prescribed, Olodumare, whom disguised himself as a beggar, reiterated again that I don't have any money. So Ika Otura compassionately gave him one of his she-goats and said, here, do your ebo. And Olodumare, whom disguised himself as a beggar, turned to him and said, Baba, when I get my wealth, I will locate you. Ika Otura turned and said, it's no problem. I am doing the will of my master.
Sure.
So when Olodumare returned again, and he came in all splendor and all regalia, all the Babalawos who had turned him away bowed and cried and said, we are sorry, we did not know it was you. So Ika Otura, this Ifa is telling us that we must be faithful. We must be compassionate. And we must be faithful first to what is prescribed to us. Whatever our destinies are, let us be faithful to that. Because it's our destiny that would continue to support us. So we say, Ifa El Bewao, may Ifa continue to support us. May the Orisha continue to support us. May the ancestors continue to support us. Aburu, Aboye, Aboshishe, Asheo.
Asheo. I pay my respects to Areifa Lashe Orisha Lashe Gunleti Egbe Kumoleri. Ye adi yola ifa yomi.
Ashe.
Ya aga igun be mi be oya.
Beni.
Yeshu bae filomi te.
Ashe.
And to all ears, Iyanifas, Babas,
Ashe.
all across Trinidad and Tobago,
Ashe.
who has been day in, day out, teaching me and edifying
Ashe.
me and helping me in my growth in this great
Ashe.
tradition and this way of life.
Ashe.
We have a guest coming in here tonight, but we must nourish our spirituality by adherence to all the tenets of Ifa.
Ashe.
Most and important. And you know, as we say, we will go through the tenets of Ifa every month to remind
facts.
people, you know. As we develop good character, we must understand that it is an internal process judged by behavior in each moment. Continued prayer to Olodumare, continued sacrifice,
Ashe.
veneration of the Orishas and ancestors. It is the only way to achieve true peace.
Ashe.
May Orisha and Lord bless us all.
Ashe.
May the Ori self and Ori Inu
Ashe.
serve, the one that dances in front of the mat, be in total alignment. Let the bright light of Ijiokbe continue to illuminate our lives. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I'd just like to say, Aborabo Yabosishe to the Obatala shrine located in Tibaland, who is always locked on.
Ashe.
You know, all shrines, Ilays, Palace, located all over Trinidad and Tobago. I'd like to say special good night to the Bishop, Pavi, and all members of the Key of Paradise located in Pastor Street in Lavantil. I had a wonderful weekend. The feast started from Wednesday. It finished yesterday. I mean, it was good, you know. Every home you go to, you will see certain things, you know, but at the end of the day is one goal, one mission to give Olodumare thanks and praise. I like to say special good night to Spice Robert Sam Shaka. You know, after the feast last night, pause please. I was downstairs, you know, they offered me something to eat.
Yeah.
And while eating, I saw this lady looking at me. You don't mind, you know. Sana Pride, me and my wife was talking, whatever, we was having a conversation. Boom, the lady say, she say, he's Duke. If I shall we have life. And you know, you could have see the joy in her, you know. I mean, we reaching out to a lot of people, especially when you're doing something good. So I give thanks and praise to Olodumare. She say, just now I get my daughter. If my daughter see her, she'll scream. Shaka. And when she went for her daughter did scream. You know, and I felt good to know that I am doing something and it reaching to the young ones. At least, so, you know, I say special good night to the folks in Tobago who locked on, you know, Trinidad and Tobago, a whole of the Caribbean. We have the issue, the voting in Barbados, who is always locked on. You know, we have people locked on as far as Nigeria, Canada, London, the US, so you know, things happening. Ionte in St. Martin, you know, she's locked on. So we give thanks and praise for all that we have been doing this time. So I'm going to go through this small piece of information here. Understanding Ifa religion or spiritual system is something that we went through, and we just beginning of the month, we just come out of the carnival season.
Yeah.
So we back down to some serious business. So we'll touch on it. The Ifa religion is not, in fact, a religion. It is more of a spiritual system which is based on the belief in these three components: Olodumare, the creator of heaven and earth; Orisha, nature spirits, and the ancestors. Olodumare, according to Ifa beliefs, Olodumare, the supreme being, has no gender and is not actively involved in the affairs of human beings. Olodumare created a universe that has everything that humans need to live a fulfilled life and happy life. Shaka, you want to touch on that?
I share. Well, as we had said before, according to Akara Onwari, Olodumare is the universal principle, the universal spirit guiding this universe. So as Ifa says, before we do anything, before a person does anything, you must give homage to the source. And whom is our source? Olodumare, our creator. The one whom created all the other divinities, the other divine intelligences that was created to put this world in an order. So you can't revere Orisha or revere Irumale or revere ancestors without paying homage to Olodumare. Because Olodumare is the one who created all of them. Ashe? Ashe.
Ashe. But we gotta go pay the bills, the sponsors who keep sponsoring and donating to this program.
Keeping us alive.
I mean, it's hard, it's rough, it's tough out there. The economy starting to creep back, but we reaching out to you people out there. Jib by jib will fill the bucket. If we come together as a whole and donate and sponsor, we'll reach far. So I'm going to pay the bills. I'm going to come right back at you with this discussion. Shall we of life? Kamara's Culture Store, the #1 importer and supplier of genuine products from Africa, located at Adams Bazaar Main Road, Shogunas. Contact number 672-8438, 320-8866. Gossip Gel Polish, gel with a difference. Contact number 3827587. Come, let us take care of your feet, Petty by Risi. They also sell butters. Contact number 3984474. Nubian Experience, clothing that tells part of our rich African history. Number 6 Woodford Street, Arima. Contact number 6881979. Oriomi, Nico Loggins, Health and Wealth Lifestyle. Number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. EMG out of Texas. Richie's Tire and Automotive Car Care Center. Number 409 Otello Drive, Hampton, Georgia. Sponsors for the Ifa Orisha Way of Life.
Also sponsored by the Throne of Gold for all your African supplies and clothing. Their contact number is 754-5128. That is the Throne of Gold. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Omo Inu, All Things Woman. For all your Yoni products, they are the sole women's haven distributor for Trinidad and Tobago. Their contact number is 365-4332. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Black Tie-Dye Catering Service, 683-8755. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram. Awo Wabande Tonic, 388-4606. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Ile Josio Turameji, Awo Oshun. Thank you.
Yes, we also have the Olokun Business Solution for all landscaping and maintenance needs. Contact us at 4823111. We also have a Baraye Spiritual Store, Edinburgh 500. Contact number 373-2746. So we are back at it again here on the Ifa Orisha Way of Life program on the Street 919 FM. Yes, Shaka. So we continue.
Yeah, man.
Having a beautiful Night as usual. Orisha, every life form and element of nature has an inner soul force, including rivers, rocks, clouds, metals, flowers, thunder, and the wind. African oral tradition. The natural forces that make up the universe are referred to as Orisha, and each of them has its specific functions. The human race is in constant communication with these natural forces. Whether we are aware of it or not, these Orishas serve as the intermediary between the Olodumare and humans. There are many Orishas believed to be operating in the universe, but the basic and popular ones are as follows. Orisha Yeshu, the force of energy and opportunity. Orisha Obatala, the force of energy of peace. Orisha Ogun, the force of energy of the forest. It is also the spirit of dynamic creativity, as it is associated with metal workers or blacksmith. Orisha Oshun, the force of energy of love and attraction of all good things on every level. Orisha Oya, the force of energy of the wind and the force of sudden change. Orisha Shango, the force of energy of thunder. Orisha Yemoja, Olokun, the force energy of the sea or oceans. These Orishas are also seen as gods, hence they are referred to as a god of the force of nature they control. For example, Orisha Shango is popularly referred to as a god of thunder. Ori, your guide to your destiny. Shaka?
Ashe, Ogbato. And this excerpt is telling us about, the blessing or the ire that Olodumare have put in place for us human beings. Because Ejiobe tells us when the Orisha or the Irumale was coming to earth, the 401 of them, they went for Ifa consultation. And Ifa told them that the world that they are going into, the foundation of their conduct must be always being truthful, be honest, exercise humility, exercise patience, behave as Olodumare created you. And this was the Ifa declaration for 401 Irumale that was seeking to descend on earth to fulfill the mandate given to them by Olodumare to put this world in order. So this is the platform in which all devotees must stand upon. Because even the Irumale or the Orisha have an order. And it is the Orisha, the ancestors we look to for guide in the way we behave. So if Olodumare gave them a code of conduct in age Yogbe, it means that no one could ever command any Orisha, any Irumale to do anything evil. Because this is out of age Yogbe, and age Yogbe tells us a person who is evil would die a wretched man. So we give thanks. We give thanks for the platform that is given to us by our Creator. Ashe.
Ashe. The most common debate about the Ori is whether it is part of the person. In my view, Ori is the most highly evolved part of ourselves. It is a divine aspect, a unique reflection of Olodumare through human consciousness. Ori, it is a gateway to all of the most evolved energies of the universe. It is through our connection with Ori that we experience our guardian, ancestor, our guardian, Orisha, our life path, Odu, and the power of our initiations. Shaka?
Ashe. And Ifa always advises the devotee that Orisha cannot accept one's offering or one's petitions if one's Ori does not accept it.
Ben.
According to Okara de Shanu, Ifa tells us that the Ori and Highland was coming to earth. Highland had rushed to earth to claim space and say that no one on earth would be taller or could overcome the Highland. And Highland did not do the prescribed Ebo. So Ori was coming from heaven to earth, and Ori did the prescribed Ebo, did the prescribed sacrifice. So when Ori reached on earth, Ori placed a pigeon beside of the Highland, and the pigeon flew over the Highland. And that again tells us that the Ori, the power of the Ori, is instrumental in the success of us human beings on earth here. No Orisha cannot accept a person's ebo or sacrifice if their Ori does not accept it. As my Ianifa says, the king cannot kill himself unless his head kills him. Ashe?
Ashe.
Ashe.
Many Ori prayers begin with a call to Ella, the energy of wisdom in action. She is the infinite pool of energy that sits at the center of the universe. This calling upon Ella in the prayers equates Ori with Ella's infinite wisdom. In limited human form, it is our Ori that synthesizes the knowledge of a lifetime, creating wisdom. Your Ori then carries what you have learned to the ancestral pool, where it becomes available to your entire lineage and perhaps the entire species. Connecting with your Ori allows you to open up to the energies that you are connected with at conception. They will guide you towards your destiny. Regular connection with Ori also provides a deeper, more secure sense of self, which allows you to align with your deepest guidance. Try connecting with your Ori every day and see what it can bring into your life.
Ashe.
Shaka.
Ashe. Ashe. And it's vitally important for us at times to do an Iburi, feed your Ori, cleanse your Ori, because as we go through life, we can incur certain disturbances, sometimes seen and unseen. And we must understand how delicate our Ori is, our inner head, our inner consciousness is. There are times when we would go through certain experiences that could throw us off. And if a person allows themselves to just sit back and don't take an active care in taking care of their Ori, they could end up in problems. So that is why it's vitally important to take care of our head, to take care of our Ori. From time to time, it's good to let a well-qualified spiritual elder, leader, Babalawo or Ianifa Olorisha to do an Iburi for a person. Feed your Ori. Because if your Ori is out of alignment, it could spell destruction for that person. And even in Oyeku Meiji, Ifa tells us that if we fail to do Iburi or even consult our Ori in the right way from time to time, it could lead to depression. So it's vitally important, according to Oyeku Meiji, that we take care of our Ori from time to time. We take care of it. Ashe? Ashe.
So we'll continue. Shaka, you could continue.
And there is many things in our society that has been brought to the fore in terms of lack of connection to one's Ori. Because sometimes we may see people behaving in strange ways. You might see young children behaving in strange ways. You might see husbands, wives, relatives behaving in strange ways. And sometimes if you don't take time to understand or take time, to diagnose, because you must understand that spiritual attack, it first attacks, in fact, it attacks your physical. And if a spiritual attack is sent to your ori, it would have you behaving in strange ways. Because Oyekumechi tells us that if a person's ori is so much out of alignment, it could lead to depression. And what depression often leads to, it leads to persons committing suicide. So Ifa also tells us that we must take care of our mental health. We must take care of our body in ways that could help us to preserve our proper mental and cognitive balance. And even when we examine the concept of the ori, things that you interact with, remember, the eyes are the window to one's soul. So if you are in places and spaces that you are seeing things that is disturbing you, you must take time to take yourself out of that situation. Or even if you are in spaces and places where the conversations or the narrative is not productive and it is not healthy, that could damage a person's ori. So if our young men are for the entire day picking up a phone, putting headphones in their ears, and listening music that is making them adherents to violence, confusion, and murder, what do you think would happen?
Calamity.
So we have to protect the ori of our children. I mean, we live in this world. Allah Tumishe, we live in this world. And there will be many worldly things that we would see. But as our ancestors always tells us, and our elders, even though we live in this physical world, we must behave in ways that could protect our Iwapele.
Man.
We must not let ourselves fall victims to some of these, in fact, to these negative principalities of this world. Because according to the age Yogbe, we must behave in the way that Olodumare created us. We must exercise benevolence, love, compassion, understanding. Because this is how Olodumare wants us to live. Olodumare wants us to live in harmony with each other and all things. Abu Rabo, you.
So we touch on the 16 virtues of Ifa every month to remind the listening public and Ifa Orisha devotees of the virtues of Ifa. Ever since the arrival from heaven of the deities, there have been admonitions to ensure the well-being of the society, its occupants, and for peace to reign. Fundamental to these admonitions are the 16 warnings of Ifa, which are as follows. Do not engage in any activity without involving Olodumare. Shaka.
Facts. Facts. Again, you give homage and acknowledgement to the source. If you are an adherent to the Creator's word, you must give homage. You must give homage. Ashe?
Ashe.
Give homage, and everything would be well with us.
So as it says, reverence to you, Olodumare. If a chicken drinks water, he pays obeisance to Olodumare. They are the ones that cast divination for Odososo. She was going to lay her eggs under the ban of the farmer. Only proposition belongs to man. Disposition belongs to God. Cast divination for the farmers. they were going to the animal farms. Adaba Susu is the only one that offered sacrifice. Iwori Ogbe.
Ashe. Ashe.
You know. 2, all sacred shrines must be protected from the uninitiated.
You know, that is something that I would even like to
challenge.
No. I mean, it is the word that came down from Erosun or Yeku. And what I would say on that is, protect the shrines from the non-initiated. What a non-initiated is, you have been initiated. That meant you have went through, you know, that process to acquire that knowledge,
Benny,
to understand how to live within your cult or the sector of society where you live.
True.
So this is even down to our community environment. We have to protect our society from people who are seeking to destroy where we live. Because according to Ifa, the world is the grove of Ifa.
Ben.
Wherever you go, people would say that, all right, I could live good with mankind. But what about the animals in the forest? What about the fishes in the sea? What about the birds? What about our rivers? What about our seas? Because some people think that, here what? I could do whatever I want out of 4 eyes and nobody would see. You could go by the river, have a good time, and leave it messy. What do you think would happen there? It will cause discomfort to those who are supposed to come thereafter and enjoy the river.
Those who dwell there also.
You could light fire and cause EFCs and pollute the natural breathing environment. What do you think would happen? It will make people uncomfortable. And as we know, the environment, according to Ifa, is a living thing. The air we breathe, it's a living thing. The rivers we go to, it's a living thing. The seas we go and bathe in, it's a living thing. So we have to ensure within our society, we protect our society from the people who don't even pay mind to giving respect to the spaces and places that are there for us as a nation to enjoy.
Really?
Imagine you go to the beautiful Shark River.
Toko.
I don't know who knows Shark River. or you go Cora, or you go Aripo, or you go Elencia River, or you go to any river in this country to pay homage to Oshun, Uluweri, Osa. You pay to go and pay homage. And people coming on the river to defecate on the river banks, to let go water in the rivers. These things are not good. And that's why Ifa tells us in Irosun or Yeku to protect our shrines from the non-initiated. We have to protect what we have. We have to even protect our tradition from imposters.
Yes, so true.
If you are a devotee of Oshun and you have went through the grove of Oshun, nobody could come after and tell you, hey, I reinventing the wheel for Oshun. So that is why, according to Irosun Oyeku, we protect what we have from the uninitiated.
As it says here, don't farm on lands filled with the stones of Ogun.
Yeah.
Do not convert dump site to a marketplace.
Yeah.
Don't make Ile-Ife desolate.
And that's the thing.
Irosun Oyeku.
And that's the thing. Olodumare created everything for a particular reason and purpose.
Benny.
So if the river is there for the sustenance of mankind,
and for the enjoyment of mankind. How could you go to the river and defecate on the riverbank? You could never. That could never be godly. That could never be in ways that the ancestors could bring blessings to you. Because what you are doing there, you are defecating all where the ancestors reside.
All where the animals are terror.
Yeah, all where humans have to go and do their spiritual work and
simple thing by just throwing rubbish.
Yeah.
And leaving your garbage, you know.
Yeah.
On the river banks, you know, and the garbage should go down the river, you know.
That could never be
if every day you throw a bucket or old washing machine down the river, slowly but surely it will clog up the river.
That
and
could
lead to
never
calamity.
be.
So, you know, we're touching on the
That
the way the 16 principles of IFA, you know. It says here, do not steal. You know, do not steal. As I IFA Orisha devotee, you know, you see the principles that we try and live by it.
Ashe.
Do not steal.
Ashe.
Don't steal okra of Chief Ijio. Don't steal vegetable of Chief Aloran. Don't steal the chicken of woman leader.
And again, Ifa tells us and advises the devotee, or in fact, advises human beings in general to live in accordance to what would bring harmony. Harmony is balance. In a society where persons are taking what is not meant for them, what would happen? It would result into crime. In a society when from the top, what is meant to be shared for even the smallest citizen is not shared equally, what would happen? So Ifa from the beginning of time, from time immemorial, tells us, don't steal. Don't steal. And as Ifa tells us, the hard times of a devotee is never permanent. Because Ifa tells us, once your attitude is correct, and your Iwa Pele is in order, the devotee would always find food to eat.
Sure.
So even for persons who are so put in place to disperse what is meant for everyone, you must do your endeavor to disperse what is meant for everyone. Because what does happen in the end? Because when it's time to answer, Olodumare would ask you, when you were put in place to give such and such to the community, why did you take it for yourself? You would have to answer that. Because no one wants to live knowing that, and I don't know, I don't know how a man could live knowing that here what, I am erring, I am doing things, and I have children coming up. I don't know how human beings could think and still conduct themselves in ways knowingly, because we have to reincarnate one day. And our Iwa Pele would, and according to our Iwa Pele in Ogbe Erete, would allow us to be accepted by the ancestors. Because if you do wicked things, the wicked are at the gates of Orun, reporting you know.
So
yeah, Ifa tells us that.
So true. I'd like to say special good night. Ifa Taishe, Ifa Jouna Tinomu, long time.
Hey.
I have not seen our brother.
Hey, my brother.
You understand? Long time I haven't seen him. I know he's working very hard. I hope all is well with you and your family. Iyamodi Solomon, long time I haven't seen him. Also Debbie Ann, Pollard is also locked on. Listra Sylvan is locked on. Our friend Atiba Swamba is locked on from Tableland.
A very, very good man.
You know, he's locked on. A lot of folks, Ulosula, Kintula, Jake Neves is locked on.
Good
Patricia
people.
Banyan is locked on. Indigo Love is locked on. You know, Ionte, she's always locked on. You know, so we continue the discussion. You understand? 4. And this, you see number 4 is one that I like us to elaborate on.
Yeah.
Very rough, because people have a feeling or a belief that we, if our Richard devotees, you know, we just sacrifice humans and do this, and but this is against our principles, and we are saying it here on
time in, time out.
Time in, time out on this program. This is what has been set out for us. Do not kill human beings for ritual purpose or eat human flesh. I'm going to say it again. The Western world has so corrupted our minds and tarnished our oris that we have been lost, and they self go behind our backs and use what was given to us. Do not kill human beings for ritual purpose or eat human flesh. Don't sacrifice an innocent man to the Ogun of Chief Oronto. Shaka?
And that is out of Eretemechi. And, I mean, it speaks volumes for us as human beings. For us as children of the Creator. You could never kill a man and expect to live comfortable. In other words, too, we as Ifa Orisha devotees, we do not kill mankind for wealth.
Many.
We would never offer a person to accumulate wealth. So it tells us that we do not do human sacrifice. That is not the ways of Ifa. That is not the ways of the Orisha, and that is not the ways of our ancestors. So if you go anywhere and anybody is talking this type of narrative about human sacrifice, we do not do human sacrifice. No time, no day. Because who created us? It is Olodumare. And we have to value what Olodumare created. So we have to value each other as human beings. I'm not saying that everything would always be smooth with us human beings, but you give that respect and you go your way. You don't have to do any money ritual by taking the life of a person to accumulate wealth. Ifa tells us in Iwori, if a person is in want and a person is in lack and a person is going through financial hardship, pick up a hoe, pick up a cutlass, go to the market and farm. Or if you don't have land, I mean, let's speak in a way that persons could understand. Some people may not have that to their arm's reach, but there are ways to make money. Sometimes you might want something hototo right now, big, but yourself have to be patient. Oshe Meiji says that without hard work, wealth could never be accumulated. Sometimes you might see people enjoying riches, and their ancestors have genuinely worked hard. So now they are in a position to enjoy that. So even if you see a person have more than you must not jealous them, because you don't know the sacrifices. You don't know how much cane the ancestors cut. You don't know how much yam.
Early morning in the market.
You don't know how much cocoa in the cocoa estate some of our ancestors had carried out for their offsprings to enjoy wealth today. You do not jealous people for what they have, because somewhere along the line a sacrifice was made for them. And even if you have a young child, Ifa tells us in Ika Meiji The sacrifice you make today would ensure the comfort of living you live tomorrow.
Sure.
So if you're working hard, work smart and work. Not those. When I say work smart, don't work in a smart way to con people. You work in a way that is beneficial and smart for the upkeep of your health, and your children would enjoy it, and you would enjoy it as well. Ashe?
So I'll just like to go through the essay from Iriti Meji. He screamed aloud. He was heard clearly. The enormous Ogun, located in the open space outside his father's clan. They are the ones that cast divination for Olomina. On the day he was going to buy Akborin as a slave, Olomina begat Olomibo. Olomibo begat Bara Guru Logbon. They are the ones that cast divination for Urunmila. On the day he vowed to inherit Akborin, Akborin vowed not to let him inherit her. The witch gave a cry of terror in the morning. The little child died the same evening. Cast divination from Ajiglorun, the prince of the king of Ido. Akala begat Ijio. Ujogbona begat Ujokeri. I never knew that Pui was the one that begat Olomo. From Iriti Meji. You know? Just what Shaka was talking about. You know, 5. The principle Zaifa. Do not be wicked or be a betrayer of trust. Shaka, do not be wicked or be a betrayer of trust. Do not cause disaffection within humans. Do not behave wickedly to the dead. Don't be betrayers of trust from anyone. Shaka.
And again, even in our carnal existence, there would be times when human beings, our brothers and sisters, would espouse, that confidence in us to hold something. Sometimes a person may be going through some type of hardship, some sort of disturbance in their life, and they come to you as a person for help. And that help maybe sometimes they just want a person to listen to. Alat, Umishe?
For real?
A brother, maybe a husband and wife maybe have a problem, in their household or in their relationship, and they just want somebody to speak to give them, that comfort and that encouragement. And they see you, and they come and say, bro or sister, this is what I am going through. And then you take what that person say and you advertise it all over the community, all over the neighborhood, all over the office, and you laugh. You laugh. You revel in that person's sorrow. And that person begins to hear other people talking the business. What you think you'd be doing to that person? Because what the word "our" means, it breaks down to confidentiality. So the ancestors support confidentiality. Somebody come to you with a problem, and you are there to help them. That person is also doing you a favor, because they are helping you to fulfill your destiny as well.
Yeah.
Because here what has happened too. Sometimes it may be in the destiny, the ipui or the ayama of that person to offer this particular person help. And when you turn and you disrupt that person's trust and you disregard the confidentiality espoused in you, you know what would happen? You know what would happen? You could end up in so much hot water when it's time to answer to the Creator or to answer to the ancestors.
So true. Ashe. So we're gonna take a break because my guest is here. We're gonna take a break and come right back at you. Remember, it's Ifa Orisha We have live program here on the Sheet 919 FM with your host, Alatumishe Ifaba, Mishe Aganki, and my brother, King Shaka.
Sure.
So don't touch that dial. You guys stay right there. Take a little time, go get some to drink, and come right back. Coming up next, I have my guest, Chief Olowo Obafemi. If I hear me, he's here from the United States of America. He's visiting our shores. You know, and when the elders are here, you seek knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from them, which can enhance your ability in this marketplace that we are just passing through day by day. So remember, it's all about the Sheet 919 FM right here.
Oh yeah, Ajalaya, Ajalorum, Winnie, me be my answer. Afifi jeje, efufu leje, yawa oya ashe. Iba oya, achalaya, achalorun, Winnie, me be my answer. Afifi sheshe, efufu leshe, yawa oya ashe. Iba oya, ajalaya, ajalaru, Winnie, me be my answer. Afifi jeje, efufu leje, yawa oya ashe. Iba oya, achalaya.
Aborabo Yabo Shishe. We are back again on the IFA Orisha. We have live program on the Sheet 919 FM. You know, in our presence here at the Sheet 919 FM building on the Iwer stage, I have Chief Olowo Obafemi Fayemi Ipega. You know, I'm going to give you guys a brief biography of the elder who is here with us. Olowo Obafemi is world-renowned Babalawo and the founder of OIDSI, Obafemi Institute of the Divine and Universal Study of Ifa. He was initiated as a priest of Obatala Epa Orisha in January 2004 and received his Stefa in February 2005 from a late Olowo, Dr. Afolabi Ipega, at the Ipega compound in Akoro, Ondo State, Nigeria. Born Stephen Benjamin Clark McKee on December the 30th, 1957 in Houston, Texas, Chief Olowo Obafemi Fayemi Ipega is the fifth child of Vivian and Fletcher McKee Sr. and the father of four boys, Stephen Jr., Corey, Sheldon, and Jordan. Baba Femi is the author of the book entitled Who is Sambo, and who has established a substantial YouTube presence for himself via IFA-related lectures and classes over the years. He has been a diligent scholar of, as well as an active practitioner of IFA for more than a decade. As a lecturer, teacher, and healer, Baba Femi has facilitated IFA workshops all over the world, including Mexico, Australia, Brazil, Europe, and the Caribbean.
Sure.
And tonight, I thank Olodumare for all that he has done for this program called Ifa Orisha Way of Life, where we can have the elders here with us to impart knowledge across Trinidad and Tobago and enlarge the world.
Ben.
You know, I was introduced to Baba Femi, you know, and given the information, you know, the invitation from my spiritual father, Ifa Lashe, Ugunleti Pomeleri, who called me and informed me of such. And, you know, when the elders talk, what more can I do? Just listen and say, yes, Baba. no problem. And we are always welcome here, and I always keep saying it on the program. We are not here for stardom. We are just here as small young ones learning the tradition, trying to impart and bring clarity to the tradition.
Sure.
As the 16 tenants of Ifa says on the 4th, because the Western world has so corrupted our Oris and brainwashed us, and believe and put this tradition, this way of life, in a hole, in a dark space. But we are here, thanks the Lord told them, Mary Baba Ogun, the Orisha of technology, that Kabiyesi Shango, the Orisha of justice, that we can be here every Monday to impart this knowledge. So I say, Aboro Abo Yabo Shishe, Ipa Orisha, to you Baba, it's a privilege.
It's good to meet you, brother.
Yes.
You and brother Shaka.
Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So I heard a little bit of the show on the way over here. You guys were throwing down pretty good. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Yes.
So it's a pleasure to be here.
So what brings you to the shores, of Trinidad and Tobago,
It's not a long story. I actually have back in Houston, Texas, my home.
Mm-hmm.
I have godchildren they're Trinity.
Okay.
They're in Houston, New York, they're in Jersey. So as you know, the Americas is a big melting pot. So we're scattered out.
Yes.
And one of my oldest goddaughters, and also a person that I've been knowing for 25 years, is from Trinity.
Okay.
And she's been a good friend. So I always wanted to come here. So my first trip to Trinidad, I didn't come as a Babalawo.
Okay.
I came as a tourist. I went to eat roti, bacon shark.
Yeah, man.
I went to Maracas Bay, went to Tobago, and a friend in Barbados is where I'm leaving here on Wednesday. Said I have a friend there, Awoy Falashe.
Okay.
And he said you should talk to him. So when I talked to him, and he said, "Oh, you're here?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "You can't leave here without giving us a lecture."
Yes.
So I was invited over to the temple.
Yeah.
It's a funny story because when I got out, they looked at me strange because they didn't think it was me.
Yeah.
They were used to seeing a guy on YouTube.
Yes.
But by that time I had grew a beard.
Yeah, that beard.
So they went and got this one lady. I can't remember her name. And she came out and she wanted me to say something. So when I began to talk, she said, "That's Baba Femi," because of the Texas accent.
Yeah.
So, but I had a beautiful time. We had a beautiful lecture, and also I had a beautiful night at Baba's place.
Yeah.
Was that Saturday? It was Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah, they have meetings on Thursday.
Yes, it was really nice.
Nice, man. Nice. Even while you say it's nice, I spent some time also in Austin, Texas, about 60 days. It's also a nice place, and it's good to meet someone because about Ifa Orisha, Nigeria, London. It's good to know someone from the Americas, can come and touch the shores and really let us understand your lifestyle, how your practice is in the Americas, because things that we are privileged to have here are separate, are different, maybe similar, but always the practice, always the lifestyle of being an Ifa Orisha devotee on your side of the Americas.
To finish your first question, I also came this time because there were 5 people who were to receive Ishefa. And so that was performed over the weekend.
Okay.
So it was for Babalawo who could not make it.
Yeah.
So he found out I was coming. So he asked me to give Ishefa to his godchildren.
Okay.
So that's what I did. You're speaking about Ifa in the Americas. I don't know if we have enough time.
Now we are till 10, man. We have time.
Well, Ifa in the Americas is it's growing, and it's moving very, very, very fast. I'm old school. I came into Ifa 21 years ago.
Okay.
And my first 2 years in Ifa was very, very difficult. I was not an initiate. I was just a student. I was coming into the temples.
See, Shaka.
Yeah.
And I was listening. I had questions. And after a short while, me and my godbrother here, Baba Akasamo, Baba Shagundari, we were very disappointed. Before you can get lessons, there was a lot of egos, money, things like that. You know, you couldn't really learn, and then they were telling you what you can read, what you can't read. And I'm saying this for a reason, because it's very, very important for the young practitioner that's coming in. Never, ever be absent of your own intelligence.
Sure.
If something, your Ori can't lie to you, you can lie to yourself, but your Ori will never lie to you.
Ashe.
And so when your Ori lines up proper, and your spirit has its equilibrium, spirit is going to tell you that what makes you uncomfortable, you should question. And I was one of the few, along with my god brother. We simply just ask questions. And when we were told we can't ask questions, it sounded like church.
Ooh.
All over again. I walked away. I just said I was going to keep doing studies of different kind, and then I had the pleasure of meeting my Uluo. And the first thing that he introduced me to is what Ifa was not.
Yeah.
What it was and what it was not. The first thing he made very clear to me is that I am not Yoruba. I will never be Yoruba. And I was hurt because I felt as though a connection to Yoruba. I understood what he was saying. That I was an African in America and I was a descendant of a slave. And that I had earned the right to do things that even he couldn't do. And so the last thing that I needed to do was have a tool such as Ifa and not have it proper.
Yeah.
So from there, along with my brothers and sisters, we could make the right choices of how to use this to better out and bring equality to our lives with our family.
Ashe.
Ashe.
So, I want to ask a question. So, 21 years ago, you had a stumbling block initially with things that you could not read. They said that you couldn't read certain
books.
Certain books.
Now, here's the thing. The books that we were not to read, the Babalao had the books teaching from. He said it was a great mysteries. But the books were available
to
buy. So, allowing his own interpretation, I had no problem with that.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
But the character, which is everything, was very aggressive.
Yeah.
It was very, at times, hostile. It was a lot of matter of fact. And I believe, I know, in any indigenous system, in any spiritual system, if the Ori is presenting you with diversity and choice, you should at least be able to ask a question.
Facts.
Yes.
So, coming out of understanding what was not, and to balance it, what is Ifa? Where you sit now, out of your platform, how has that impacted in your community?
Well, first and foremost, I don't think that I am, but a lot of my elders, a lot of my fellow Babalaos and Iyas, they all joke about me being the rebel. It's bad boy of Ifa. Why is that? And it's based around the question that you asked. When you come from a place of truth and you're looking for a truth and someone gives you something else other than that truth, then you always have that in your back pocket when you're walking the path of Ifa. Because as I'll be 65 years of age this year.
Wow.
I started out in the church. I was asked to leave the church because I asked questions. I was never disrespectful.
Yeah.
I will never be disrespectful to any elder. But I feel as though if you're my teacher and I'm your student, I should be able to ask
Yes.
a question. And I was allowed to ask questions. And so, with that being said, my elders applaud me for asking questions because of my growth in
Yes.
in Ifa and the quality of life it has brought not only to me and my family, but to hundreds of brothers and sisters that I've had the pleasure of working with, meeting, traveling, a lot of humble people, a lot of good people. There's a lot of horror stories around Ifa,
Yeah.
mainly through people who have abused their position.
Yeah.
You can't abuse Ifa,
Yeah.
but as a human being, if your ori is not proper,
Yeah.
then your trauma as a child, now never been dealt with, now comes into Ifa, and you're this leader,
Yeah.
and you're this teacher.
Yeah.
And sometimes, because you haven't healed, it shows in your work.
True.
And so, 21 years, I've learned never to not be myself.
True.
First and foremost, this is by Oladumare's blueprint.
Blueprint.
And what has been given to me is a platform to speak to people truthfully,
Yes.
based on who I am in my own experience. Do I know everything about Ifa? Of course not. Can I chant Odu, maybe 2 verses of every do? Absolutely. Do I need to do that to prove a point? No, I don't.
True.
But I think the most important thing, Brother Shaka, is that when people embark on this journey, it's not a sprint.
Yes.
It's not even a marathon. It's a walk.
And that leads me to this question. How should a person approach initiation into Ifa? Because some people have the tendency to believe when an initiation into Ifa happens, all their problems are magically fixed.
It doesn't work like that. In the Odu Iwer, it says, Awo, do not go jump in the water if you can't swim just because you're an Awo. Awo, do not climb a tree with a defective rope just because you're an Awo.
True.
So we can't just do things because we're an Awo.
True.
The road to lead up to initiation should be a very, very humble road.
True.
You can't work at the supermarket and you take Friday off. You get on a plane Saturday morning. You go to Nigeria. By Wednesday, you have went through Itefa.
True.
On Friday, you get back on the plane, you come back, and Sunday you go back to the supermarket. And you think you're an Awo.
True.
You think you're a Babalawo. Oh, I have my lekes.
Yeah.
They made me Orisha. They made me Agboni. They gave me this. They gave me that. You're still the same person who works at the supermarket.
True.
You just happen to go to Nigeria, get your head shaved, go into Igbodu. They spoke things to you you probably didn't understand.
True.
What little you understood, you probably have forgotten.
Yeah.
And now you wear an apron. You have a defective rope.
Yeah.
And you still can't swim. You understand?
True.
So, a true initiate is prepared. When Maya Luo told me, in 1 year after being initiated as a priest of Obatala, he said, in 1 year, Ifa says you must make Tefa. Because my Odu for Obatala was Ejiogbe.
Oh.
My Odu for Awo is Ejiogbe.
Ooh.
I have other initiations as priests,
Yes.
all Ejiogbe. So I'm a child of Ejiogbe.
Ejiogbe.
And so the preparation to become an Awo is very important. In my organization, you have to take a road to priest class.
A road to
You must have been a practitioner 3 to 5 years. You take a road to priest class. You come out of this class, we still have to divine Ifa.
Yes.
Your Ori says they're ready. Your Ori may say you're not ready.
At that point in time.
At that point, there's a date and time and set, prepare you for our war. When you come out of Igbodu, we have a program. What you should do year 1 to year 3 to year 5 and then 7 years. So if you come back 1 year and you're on the mat, you dafa, you're prescribing their bow, it's you're not settled in your Ori.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, the challenge is we want something so much because we don't want to be Christian or we don't want to be Muslim or we don't want to be spiritual Baptist. We just want Ifa. But we have been so much caught up to microwave everything. And we've forgotten the path that it takes to be a true Awo.
So this leads me to the next question. Post-initiation. Yes, we know that people would get initiated. But a lot of times, the cry in the diaspora, I've been initiated, but I am looking for teaching. I'm looking for someone, you know, to guide me. Because most times, some people, after they initiate, their uluwo would jump on a plane and go back. And they may not even see them in 2-3 years or years. And it leaves them in a place where, here what? Okay, I am initiated. Yes, I am to reinitiate myself into what I was initiated into. But where do I start? What would you tell that devotee who is who is right now listening in this land of Trinidad and Tobago?
Well, going back to square one, if you were not born into Ifa, like I didn't come into Ifa till I was in my 40s.
Oh.
So I was a conscious brother.
A conscious brother.
I did a lot Pan-African. You know, I was a priest of Amun-Ra, so I know a lot about Kemet. My god brother spent 10 years in Kemet.
Okay.
He does tours. I've been down into Aswan where the Nubians are. In the big argument, and I will stand my ground, where Ifa started, in the Nile Valley. You get the book by J. Olamide Lucas, A History of the Yorubas, where he traces the language and the phonetics, the tonal, into the Nile Valley. So, to have a history of something is one of the key elements.
Yes.
When you are in Awo and you have gotten off the plane from Nigeria, and maybe the first year you and your Luo, your house, your lineage, you communicate. From my experience, from young Awos, young ears, the challenge has been, number one, communication.
Communication.
Number two, in your Western mindset, you grew up with books, class, levels of education,
Yes.
colleges. So you're looking for a program.
Like that program.
But this is a majority oral tradition.
Yeah.
I can confess, 20 years ago, that were maybe 5 books on Ifa at best. Quality books on Ifa at best. Now, everybody's writing.
Yeah.
Everybody's writing about Ifa. That's not a bad thing. You can't learn everything from a book. You need to be present. You need to feel. And the challenge for young Awos is that when your Luo or your temple is in another land, whether it's Nigeria, Cuba, Brazil, wherever, that's a challenge.
Yes.
Because you live Ifa daily.
Yes.
even between jobs and family, you live Ifa daily. And it's difficult because some of the learning process may involve a lot of money, sending back and forth. I agree, things cost, supplies and things cost.
This one?
But if you don't have anyone who's willing to teach you
Yes.
on a consistent basis, that's a challenge. So you heard me say in my organization, I can only speak for my organization. Because the question you asked, we experienced.
Yeah.
My Oluwo died a year and a half after I made our wool.
Ooh.
So I now have elders that were an extension of his teachings. From Ibadan,
Yeah.
Abeokuta, Ode Remo, Ogun State,
Yes.
Ijebu. So I communicate.
Yes.
So even after 18, 20 years, most days, 90% of the time, I know answers, elbows, rituals,
Yeah.
incantations, and things like that. But there are times I need to check with my elders.
Yes.
To be for certain. You have to have that. So to all the young owls that are listening, you have to find a teacher that's going to give you the consistency
Yeah.
and hold you accountable for your practice when you say, I am ready to practice. Because if you're ready to practice, then I am vouching
Yeah.
for you that you are ready.
Yes.
So this is why I must have you, I must watch what you do for 1 year,
Yes.
3 years, 5 years, 7 years, because when you go to the public
Yes. Yep.
and the woman comes with problems with her husband,
Yes.
you must understand what she needs.
True.
When the Odu, when the Dafa speaks. And Baba and I have been on the mat for 17, 18 years.
So we're gonna take a break for some ads here.
For 17, 18 years.
So we're gonna take a break for some ads here.
For 17, 18 years.
Ashe, so Baba would continue, Ashe?
Being on the mat for 17, 18 years has given us a lot of insight.
Yes.
Into how things move, energy moves. And this is very, very important, Brother Shaka.
Yes.
Very, very important. One of the things Ifa, Odu, and my Orian ancestors have shown me, and other brothers and sisters, you can't take everything Yoruba and put it in Brooklyn.
True.
You can't take everything in the ways of Oshogbo and put it in Port of Spain.
True. Because everything has its own uniqueness.
Ashe.
Every place have its uniqueness.
When the African was put on the boat and brought into the new land, they had to recalibrate.
Benny.
The philosophical perspective and perception was still with the Ori.
Yes.
But the geography, the seasons, the people,
Yes.
the pressure, the airway, the herbs were often different.
Yes.
If one is sincere, the only language Ifa hears, the only language Olodumare
True.
hears, the only language Eshu hears to take to Olodumare is sincerity.
Ah, sure. And I endorse that full max. Because again, we live in this part of the world, and a lot of people think that, here what? How I was created as second class. They may have their language and feel insecure to pray in the language that they were born into. But as you said, Ifa hears sincerity. If a woman cries out and her cry is sincere, so the Irumale would not hear her.
Correct.
The Irumale would hear her. The ancestors would hear her. So even for devotees here, I think we need to be then tell who we are and learn Ifa. Because even my Uluwo and Rabba Osho, he tells me, he said, learn the English. So when the Udu comes, you could at least understand the interpretation.
Correct.
Even if you do not know Yoruba, even in your language, you could understand. Because if there is a Nigerian who is speaking on the mat, he will still have to translate it in English.
Absolutely.
He will still have to translate
Absolutely.
it. Asha?
Absolutely. The importance of Ifa, the tradition must be known. The tradition must be known to also have the sincerity to be able in those times to either replace, substitute what you don't have.
True.
My point is, in the beginning, when we would have celebrations, we would have ceremonies, we would have certain initiations, people say, well, you did not do it correct. Why? There was no rat.
Yeah.
Okay. There was no colonet. Okay. America has not always had colonets.
True.
So what do we do?
What do you do?
Like that.
So we give what we give.
Give what you have.
In the Odu, or Turupon Meji, or Logbon Meji, it tells the story of a young Awo. I was asked to kneel and greet those before me.
I knelt and greeted those before me.
When you come down in the verse, he says, if it's Obi that goes first, I do not know.
True.
If it's Irobo that goes first, I do not know. Yes. How I give what I give it always with sincerity, all will be accepted.
Asha.
And see, again, you're going back to, I understand a Yoruba person. When I go back to Nigeria, Baba, we heard you were doing Dafa, and you didn't do the elbow. I said, do you understand in America that people come for readings of plant-based vegans? They're not going to sacrifice an animal. Do you know in some places if you sacrifice animals, you'll go to jail? They said, why would you go to jail? Because in our culture, it depends on where you live and what laws you understand to sacrifice. And now in Texas, I can sacrifice a goat in my front yard. But if I go to Seattle, SWAT may come out. So what does the Babalawo in Seattle do?
What would he do?
If he has a lineage, his Aluwo, his lineage should tell him, do you have Akoshe? Do you have airway, certain airway for blood? Did you invoke your Dariji to get you out of your contract to do blood?
Yeah.
Did you speak to Ogun and Oya in this Dariji? Many young Awos, they don't know this. So they're struggling. They're trying to find a goat. I live in Seattle. You call your brother in Florida. He said, okay, I'll do the goat for you. That is how some are operating. But he never got the experience of the goat that came with that Odu.
Yeah.
So the struggle is when your elder tells you that it is not proper, but the elder not understanding your culture. So until young Awos can speak to the elders of Nigeria and get them to understand, you are not in Yoruba land. You're in a Western society. Racist institutions. Christians for your cousin and your family that are praying for you every Sunday because you're practicing this witchcraft. And what happens is the pressure mounts and you begin to take shortcuts. You begin to hide. You begin to make more phone calls and do less work. And so when the real work comes, you're not qualified. And I've seen, and this is true, Zanawo was killed by his godson. There's another Awo stabbed by his godson. There was another Awo who killed himself. He committed suicide. This is the pressure of not practicing sheshe, like you're walking around the streets of Oshogbo. Even now, I can talk to brothers that are from the South, and rather than say, what's happening, they say, Aburabo Yabo Shishe, and they go into a Yoruba accent. I say, my brother, you're not from Nigeria. Can you please speak your tongue? I respect the Yoruba people every day. They gave us something that was lost.
Yeah.
But there was a reason why your ancestral bloodline had you born in Trinidad and not Nigeria.
Well, Ifa tells us that, no matter what part of the world you are born into, that is where you are to make use of your destiny. Olodu marries Hentasia for a reason. Even if you live in Grenada,
that's right,
and you are an Ifa Orisha devote, it means that you are there to make some impact in whatever way. But you said something about the pressure of devotees in certain parts of the world and certain sections of society that feel pressured because they cannot practice. And you said that, there are other things as a substitute, and the youths must speak with their elders. I see everything there as facts. Because sometimes even in this country of Trinidad and Tobago, you might go in the market looking for obi seed. You can't find an obi seed.
What's that done right now?
Sometimes they will charge you $30 for one. Sometimes if the devotee is young and he does not know, they will try to sell you a dry obi seed and say, here. Yeah. And people have to understand, as you had said, it is sincerity within the heart. If you don't have the Orisha sees and knows all things, yes, you have made an effort, but they would accept. They would accept. Ashe.
If I didn't have all the proper tools, and I made the elbow, and if I said it was accepted, the client gets the job.
Yeah.
Someone finds out and says, but you didn't use the proper. So the elbow was no good. So now do I call the guy up and I said, you must quit the job because the elbow was not done right? It's crazy.
True.
If the elbow was to open the way for him to get this particular job, he got the job. We think he's fine.
Yes.
So with that being said, sometimes the focus is so much on what's right or what's wrong, people forget what works.
True.
And that is the most important thing when you're dealing with sincerity and when you're dealing with Ifa. We say it all the time, Ifa is for real. Ifa is the truth. People can lie. Osai Torah says, the gods favor those who speak the truth. Mailu will say you can walk away from the truth 100 years, you come back, it's still the same, it doesn't spoil.
True.
And I started this off by speaking about truth. But the thing, truth is a funny thing. Because often debate is my truth versus your truth.
Yes.
Somewhere in the middle lies the truth.
The truth.
When we as spiritual people understand what it means to be on our wall a priest, if at the intersection there's an accident and the officer comes, the policeman comes, his job is to find out what? Who was right
and who was wrong.
Who was wrong. I'm a priest. You know what I have to find out? Why do you think it happened on this day at this time? What energy? Where was your Ori?
Yes.
You understand? That's different. Now, to correct what this person is walking with.
True.
Is where 50% of the work that you're doing is already done. Here's why. If I tell him he needs these 5 materials, okay, and I do the elbow.
Yes.
I did the ritual, but now it's time for him to make the sacrifice. It's like a wedding. A wedding is a ritual. Marriage is the work.
True.
So if you keep coming for elbow after elbow after elbow, you have not changed the way you think. Why do you keep attracting the same thing?
True.
You really think you coming here paying me a few dollars to sacrifice a rooster is going to make you a better person? No blood sacrifice can elevate your Ori.
Unless your Ori elevates itself.
Ashe? It's consciousness. If you don't change the way you think, you're not going to change the way you speak, and you're not going to change the way you act, and you're not going to change the way you keep attracting the same thing.
And again, that is something that a lot of people need to understand, because you might come and do a reading, and if I would say, okay, offer a goat, rats, fish, obi, and you feel okay, my problems is fixed. But then the next day you go back with your same attitude, and the same problem or more is incurred on your life, and you say, well, I now do sacrifice.
What's going on?
What's happening? But you have not addressed the problem of your character. You haven't addressed the problems that your Ori is attracting. You know? Yeah.
Just like when you initiate.
Yeah.
After the ritual is done, you yourself have to self-initiate. You know, you are to try your best and walk the walk of your Orisha. You are to try your best and educate and edify yourself, because as simple as you see it, from when I initiated into Orisha now Obatala, I have to learn the attributes of Obatala. I have to walk the walk of Obatala. I have to aspire myself.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not just ritual and it. And what you all are saying here is so truth, and I hope the people who on Facebook really grasping this information, you know, because people have a problem with that too. You go to seek help, you go to seek counsel into adept babalawo ayanifa, and you find you do this and you do that and nothing happen, and then you go and blaspheme now. Or the baba, the Yanifa, the Olorisha, then do what was required, and they're doing this and they're doing that. So
I know of a situation, Uluwo, that a person had done ebos, coming and paying their money. They come in, they do their reading. If I say give this, give that, do this. But the person character never change. So after a year now, when they look at themselves and they looked at other people and they saw that other people was elevating in different in ways that they wanted for themselves, they went on and said that the Baba was not doing their ebo correctly. And that is something that happens a lot, because the issue of sincerity, even on the part of the devotee, because a lot of people think Ifa is magic, you know. They feel that when you come in the council of a Babalawo, your problems are magically erased. But they have a lot to do with you as the individual.
So let me tell you folks, if you want to speak to Baba, you can call us now at 3420081. That's 3420081, 7711791. That's 7711791. That's our WhatsApp number. Let's get interactive. You can ask your questions to Baba, let him answer it. You know, this is the time, this is the opportunity. So we'll continue. Shaka.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, listen to what you said. It's you know, when you start out, you know, 3 years, 5 years, you're into Ifa, and you're doing good work. Things are working. And then you come across someone and say, oh, so you're Baba Femi.
Yes.
Yes, my a friend of mine told me that they came to you for a reading, you did the elbow, and nothing happened. So, oh wow, I hate to hear that. I never took it personally. I took it personally one time, and Maya Luo said, "Don't you do that."
Yes.
We did work for a young brother, and he was not to go to jail. They didn't trust us because we were young Babalawos. So they went to 2 older Babalawos and an Ianifa. The brother still went to jail. So Maya Luo told me, he said, let's see. So we did Dafa. Zildu Ofunka Ika Ofun.
Ooh.
In this Odu, it says, note, for whom this Odu is cast, will be expecting a gift, but will receive nothing. Because the person, as Maya Luo said, the ancestors stepped in front of the Orishas because so much work has been done to help this brother that even he didn't even trust Ifa. He just wanted a life raft because he was drowning. He was never going to change.
Yeah.
Even with that, I was disappointed. I was heartbroken. I said something is wrong. My work is good, and Maya Luo assured me. He said, "Your work is not. It's not bad. Your work is good. You must trust Ifa."
Benny.
That's it. Don't doubt yourself. Trust Ifa. To all young Awos, trust yourself. Just know what you've done is with sincerity and righteousness. So anyway, the brother goes to jail. He's in the court. He calls me while he's on break, and I said, I can only tell you what Ifa said.
Yes.
And part of it was there's still a way out of this, and you will see. He was sentenced to 5 years. About 5 years later, we were at a gathering in Houston.
Yes.
Big gathering. And the brother came walking up. He said, Baba Femi. And I looked at him. I called him by his name. We shook hands and stuff. And I said, you know, I felt bad. You're going to jail. And he says, it wasn't your fault. It was just as you said. Someone came to me. The officer said, we don't want you. We want the big guy.
Wow.
We got you because your name came up. He decided he was not going to tell on the big guy. So they got somebody else. Everybody told on the big guy. He was the only one.
I didn't tell on the big guy.
And he was the one that went to jail. He made his own sacrifice.
Yeah, himself.
We had already made the sacrifice.
Yes.
So there was no reason for me to doubt. So he said, no, it was not your fault. He said, I should have took the deal. With that being said, you know, and I'm saying this, if someone comes to me and say, there's a Babalao, there's an ear, they're not any good, they don't good work, I never take that as a truth.
True.
Even if I know that Babalao or that ear is not a person of good character.
Yes.
It still does not mean they don't do good work.
True.
I don't know the protocol of the work that they did. So that's why I never questioned. The thing with Ifa, you can lie to Baba Femi, you can lie to Brother Shaka, you know, but you can't lie to Ifa and your Ori. So if you are who you are and you say how you do what you do, and if your initiation is proper, and when I mean proper, I don't have to question did you get a rat or how many cola nuts you got.
True.
That's petty.
True.
What I need to know is when you went in that Igbodu and you and I have a discussion, brother, I know if you an initiate.
True.
Because there's something that happens in Igbodu with the mothers and your Ori that you can't even put on television.
Or you can't even sometimes.
No, you. So when you can tell me you remember everything and you remember this and you know all of that and you know all of this, I question that. That's it.
True.
But because you did the rat before the palm oil, or maybe you came back the next day and had to do the coconut, tomatoes.
Yeah.
There's something that happens to an Ori in Igbodu.
True.
There's something that occurred. Something plays out that occurred before your Ori took form to be a human.
True.
That you connect with, you reconnect, you go back to the beginning.
Ashe.
And if you can walk out of there and you can describe that through your facial expression and less of your words, I know you went through initiation.
True.
As I saying it, it just bringing memories to myself that I am. Well,
You know, Baba Femi, you know, even in this part of the diaspora too, we have some of our spiritual elders who have that unique ability to see. Is that similar in America?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I couldn't say this 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But when you pull up in my driveway
Yeah.
and you get out of the car, the Dafa is done.
Yeah.
I just confirm it when you come in my house and sit on the mat and I go through the chant to open up.
Yeah.
Why? Because I have cultivated an intimacy with Odu.
Ashe.
She doesn't lie.
Yeah.
So the way you walk, the way you move, what you're wearing, it's all calculated in that point. I'm not a psychic.
Yeah.
But there's an intuitiveness. There's a frequency that you operate on after so much of the repetitiveness of going through Dafa for people. There was a point in my life I would do monthly readings for people.
Okay.
I was up to nearly 130 people a month that I do divination for.
I know that work.
My god brother and I are often sought out for divination work, other types of work. I've now minimized it down. I do now maybe 20 people a week.
Okay.
Because this is all I do.
Yes.
I travel, I teach, and I go through divination. The ears that I've taught, trained, the Iwers that I've taught and trained, Bob and I, the thing that we have them do is to learn to cultivate an intimacy with Ifa and Odu. This is why you can't get everything out of a book. You have to go to the river. You have to go sit with a tree. Put your back up against a tree. One of the oldest rituals to align yourself is that you take a hen, you hold it, you align your spinal cord to a small, slim tree, and you pray to your ancestors. And when you turn around and you make sacrifice, because we don't kill animals, we sacrifice them.
You can say that again, Baba. You can say that part again.
Yeah. We don't kill animals, we sacrifice. If the Muslim can take the hen and sacrifice it, it becomes halal. If the Jew can take the chicken and sacrifice it, becomes kosher. I can take the hen and sacrifice it, it becomes ashe. It is not voodoo, hoodoo, medu. It's not darkness, black magic, and cult. It's ashe. And if I take that hen proper and I pray proper and I invoke it with the spinal cord, which is my own personal Osu staff.
Yes.
And I invoke my Odu, the Odus that open the way, Oshe Tura, Owarren Sogbe, Okoran Disa, as nothing I can't have.
And again, for persons who don't know who listening, because people would hear us say it. But if you could tell the listening public, what is Ashe?
Ashe. Oh, let's say this. You've heard of things like prana, chi. It is the essence of everything. Ashe means let it be so. May it be so. Ashe, in one of its definitions, also means menses, which is a woman's time. Now that's a whole nother show,
That's
brother.
another conversation.
But that is just how powerful that word alone, if you were to chant it in a sacred space, in a meditative state, slowly, properly say Ashe with the breath 21 times, you can move your single day from Osobo, Iwer to Iwer.
Ashe. Ashe.
It's the vibration. Because, see, that is the one thing that people forget. Ifa is everything. So when they say, oh, Ifa is not meditation, Ifa is very much meditation.
Very much so. Very much so.
You saw in Suru, patience. When you're speaking of Oriki, you're praying, you're talking. Meditation is listening. So if you say, Rumala said to me, you must have been in a meditative state to understand. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's very, very important that we have to know that to elevate ourselves, you can't keep running to the feed store getting chickens and roosters and hens and turtles. No, you need to stop and listen to your Ori.
Yes.
And sometimes all you need is a cool glass of water. Pray into that water sincerely, and then you drink that water each morning. It will take you throughout your day anyway.
You know, as he said that, my Yanifa, she often says, people have issues, but one of the places of power people of don't seek to go is at the river and pray and tell Ashun what the problem is in a meditative state.
Mm-hmm.
Carry something, whether it's gin, honey, and you tell Ashun what the problem is. But a lot of people like the, as we would say, a quick fix. So they would go, but still at the back of your mind, they want the problem to be fixed right away.
Mm-hmm.
But as you had said, in that meditative state,
Mm-hmm.
it could change
everything.
Iwer to Iwer.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes with patience.
Mm-hmm.
And that is lacking a lot in our society, that patience.
And, you know, and patience and also understanding. My god brother here just got back from Iceland.
Okay.
He's probably the only black man in Iceland. He was in Iceland and he was sending me pictures.
Yeah.
He went to go see the Northern Lights, and all he talked about was what he saw with Ifa. But when you go to Iceland, the average practitioner is not looking for Ifa.
Yes.
But because he lives Ifa daily, the messages were coming.
Yes.
And for him to have that experience, and he tells that to me, now I'm sharing an experience, and now I can almost write a pataki. Because if he was in Iceland and asked Ifa to give me the Odu for my experience here in Iceland, Ifa will give him the Odu. And because that Odu may tell the whole story of something else, he now gets to add a pataki, because that is the one of 256 that spoke.
True.
For Iceland. Now, in my experience, I see repetitiveness with Odus and people.
Yes.
There's an Odu, Irete or Lota, Irete or Warren. When this Odu comes down, I know one thing. This person has or will come in contact with someone from a Pacific Islander culture.
Okay.
There's nothing that Nigeria wrote about Chinese, Asians, Filipinos, people from the South Pacific, Thai, Cambodia. When that comes down, and I ask the client, I say, are you doing business with anyone of Pacific Islander culture? They go, yes. How did you know? Whether it's Iray or Sobo, I will give them consultation.
True.
When I see an Odu like Ikatura or Turaka, that person has an affiliation with the Gulf Coast in New Orleans, going down into Florida, possibly Haiti and the Dominican Republic.
Wow.
This is Odu. Was sitting with a Nigerian Babalawo. A particular Odu fell. We were speaking to the client. And then I began to tell the client Western perspective. She broke into tears because it was hitting spot on.
True.
So I want to say this. We don't take away what the elders of
True.
Yoruba land has written. We enhance it. We expand it because that's what the sacred city means. Ile-Ife. The house is wide enough. We
True.
come to expand.
Ashe.
Should Ife not expand, Ika Warren, then you open yourself up to detractors.
True.
Baba, why are you saying this? Because here's the problem. As great as Ife is, you mean to tell me you did not see the Portuguese and the Dutch coming? Baba, this is the way of Olodumare. Then Olodumare is no better than Jehovah, who was there when our people were being put on ships and Jesus had a drink, a fruity drink on the shores of Elmina when we were being loaded on ships. Baba, this is blasphemous. I need to know why. Because this is my Ori that has been institutionalized by Western government and Western society and Western history. And you're going to tell me I can't expand my Pataki?
True.
I remember Dr. King getting shot. Baba, who is that? My point exactly. You understand? It's important for us to understand Odu, not just out of a book and what's been written.
True.
You are living your Odu every day. You're adding a Pataki to your Odu every day. I am Ejiogbe. There's so many verses of Ejiogbe, no one Babalawo can tell you all of them.
True.
I can't tell you all of them. But I can tell you from the time I can remember my experiences.
True.
Then that is the Patakis of Ejiogbe. My Ejiogbe. That is the most powerful thing a devotee and initiate can have. Is knowing why you done what you done and why you do what you do, and while Olodumare has allowed the bad things to happen, he celebrated the good things with you, and now you're sitting here wondering why is it you can't get something straight because someone does not speak your language? Shame on you.
Uluwo.
Ashe.
Uluwo Hashe. Now, I know the time we have is not much, but even now, for those who listening, what is the importance to, well, I know the importance, but tell the listening public, the listening public, what is the importance of knowing your Udu to walk this journey?
Your destiny.
And why it is why, because you know a lot of people think that this if a thing now come and I live in, so you know.
That's a good question, and it's a very, very important one about why is Odu important to know. There is a language that exists between the realm of divine spirits and divine energy, divine consciousness, that we forget coming through the birth canal. Our mothers can teach us, our fathers can teach us. We can take upon what we inherit in the blood, in the memory. Our environment can help shape us, and our personal effort gives us credit in tough times. Ifa, which is the wisdom of nature, the natural order of things, universal truth. If the language of Ifa starts with the wisdom of nature, then you must know your role.
Know your role.
The wildebeest don't eat an Odu. Wildebeest eats grass. He's part of the food chain. That's why wildebeest, it's a million wildebeest. It's only a few lions. It's important to understand your role in nature because Yeshua ben Pandera, Jesus the Christ, my belief. I don't belong to any church. I don't believe a Jewish guy is going to descend out of the sky and save black people.
Ashe.
I don't believe Mohammed, who says not return. I don't believe Abraham is going to save you. I believe your Ori is going to save you. Because when we wear the Ide of Ifa on the left hand, the left hand represents the hand of mystery.
True.
The Yoruba word for the left is Osi. Like we say Oso Osi, also wizardry, sorcery, magic, Osi from the left.
True.
So this is why we call the deity Oso Osi or Ochosi. Because it sees things often unseen. That's
True.
why it cannot miss its mark. So when we wear this Ide on the left hand, from the Latin sin star, or the sin, the left side means we come in here not knowing.
True.
And it is our goal to know. So when we get this Ide, you get your Odu. That which was once a mystery is no longer. What is the mystery? My Odu, my contract,
True.
my role in the universe. And I must operate within that. So if people say, but Baba, I only have 4 verses to my Odu. I don't think I got the right Odu. I don't think they're telling me everything. Why is there nothing on my Odu? How old are you? I'm 42. How was life coming home from school at 7 years old? It was rough. How rough? My daddy beat me. We didn't have much to eat. That is your Oriki.
Yeah.
That is your Pataki. Your name, John Doe. If I divine for John Doe, who was a young boy, he would come home from school. His father would beat him. He would run under the bed. Ifa says if he has patience, one day he'll become a man. When he becomes a man, he'll surpass the father. Like in Otura D, like in Otura Warren.
True.
You see? He said, oh, Baba. Yeah. You think if I would give Odu and the meaning of Odu to a few people and don't give it to you?
True.
There's a man in China who has an Odu that is not an Ifa. He will never know his Odu.
True.
If he is in alignment with his Ori, he can still find his purpose.
True.
If he was meant to be a doctor,
He would be a doctor.
he would be a doctor. He may not have Odu, but he may have astrology. He may have numerology. That leads him to become a medical professional. What does it have? What is the advantage of Ifa and Odu? Not only do I know my destiny, I can operate it through Ire and Osobo. I know when I'm on off path and on path.
True.
The divination alone, with the proper sacrifices, will take you through. You're gonna have bad days, good days. Being an Ifa don't give you no free pass on pain.
True. You will feel pain.
It gives you the understanding and the knowledge of who and what you are and what you're here to do, and you have to be about the business of doing it. That is the importance of knowing your Odu. You know that Odu, you know exactly why you shouldn't be in the ocean. You know exactly why you cannot drink like your friend.
True.
While your friend sat there and eat papaya, you can't eat papaya. Why? I'm Shango. Yeah, but papaya is good for you. It helps the digestive system. Gives me stomach aches. Why is that? Well, you eating the wrong papaya. No. I have a contract. My Ori signed Shango to be my chief assistant on my journey.
True.
So the only way I'm going to get anything done is to be this or walk with and work with this Orisha Shango, and eating papaya is not good. I'm about to lie. I don't like Irogbo. That is my brother who's Shango. He eats Irogbo.
Love it.
Something wrong with you people.
Uluwo. Oh, that's it thing. knowing the Orisha that come with you, knowing the contracted Orisha that came along with your Ori too, as C1 George Ernie. And again, the importance of staying focused with knowing which Orisha supports you. Because we have a system where a lot of people think, here what? I could pull all the Orisha to work with them. What you have to say on that?
So you're asking about people working with multiple Orishas? I'm trying to understand what you're asking.
Okay. I'd say, well, how much? They have about 6. About 6 is the Abba. 8 is how much? I love Oshun how much? I love Abatal how much? I love Ogun how much? I love him Oja.
Let me say this. I know a brother has 35 Orishas.
Yeah.
He's still an asshole.
Oh my God.
I don't know if I can say that on the radio. I'm just it's see what gets me is you think if I can get one more Orisha, I'm gonna get 1 or 2 more blessings.
True.
You go spend 2, 3, 4, 5,000 American dollars to go get more Orishas, and you still haven't mastered the first one that you got. You still haven't achieved some of the goals, the expectation, the objective that you set.
True.
Orishas are here to assist you. If you have not found the function properly of the first one that you have, you probably are not going to find the proper use of the second, third, fourth, or fifth one. So, having those Orishas, some people going through initiation are told through their Odu they must receive this Orisha, that Orisha. I have no problem with that.
True.
But your Ori is trying to get you to master something because that is the way you elevate. You should not be the same person you were 10 years ago.
True.
You should be better. You should be more wiser and smarter. You should be talking less.
Yeah.
And to me, that is the beauty of having Orisha. It doesn't matter how many you have, but when you start, it's like going to the supermarket, the Orisha supermarket.
Yeah.
You see this more and more and more. You're falling into the decoration. You fall into all the nice colors and stuff like that. And you want to hang out with your Shun egg base so you can get some honey and go to the river. And you want to be with the Yemoja egg bay. And you want to be in the clan of Shango.
Yeah.
What are you really looking for? That's the question.
True.
Because the most powerful Orisha, which really not, but if you want to call an Orisha, the most powerful one is going to always be your Ori.
True.
Ashe.
And the one that signed the contract to be with you.
Some of the folks here, Lyndon Gok David, says blessings to the house. Everyone, Master Jama Watson says very enlightening program tonight, my brothers. I could listen to this Baba all night. I will ask you a question as a Obatala initiate myself. When I hear about your time in the tradition, how has it been for you as an Obatala initiate from that time till now?
Let me tell you, my brother, there's 2 major parts of a journey of Obatala. There's a young Obatala called Oshagiyon, mostly talked about in Brazil. I met an Oshagiyon priest. Very smart. But you can sense the arrogance, the swag, the judgment. And he basically talked about how he's elevating from that. When you becomes the wise elder, Obalufon, the one who walks with the majestic stick, is where your wisdom has overtaken your intelligence. Intelligence is a good thing, but intelligence will never rank as high as wisdom. So, in my journey as a child of Obatala, I have had more patience than I even thought I could have. I've sat through more wars out in because these E5, it's mean out here in these E5 streets. And if you don't have the patience, the wisdom, if you don't have the tolerance, the acceptance, if you don't have the kindness and the compassion, because there's a lot of people out here are knuckleheads. They're idiots. They're suffering from their own traumatic experiences, and they've hid behind elekes and initiations. Obatala has taught me that they too are my children.
So true.
And even though I want to spank them, I still have a place for them until they decide they don't want to have a place anymore.
True.
Now that I'm older and a little wiser, I understand what my Oluo told me one afternoon in Akure. He said, there is a scene. He said, to understand Orisha, we were talking about people who debate and argue. We were talking about a particular situation that was occurring in Nigeria where there was a stoning of a young woman who got pregnant because she was raped and got pregnant.
Yes.
So it was a big world news. And we were having this discussion, and we drifted off, and he told me, he said, there is a scene, negotiating table, where Obatala sits at one end of the table. Oya sits at the other end, and they're talking. They're going back and forth about the things that are happening in the town. On the right side of Obatala is Shango for strategy. On the left side of Obatala is Yemoja for the mothering and the nurturing of what war could bring. Oshun is next to Yemoja, waiting for the instructions. Eshu is all around the table. He's going the circle right to left and left to right, and he's interrupting and he's confusing things. Notice who's not in the room. Ogun. When Obatala decides there is no way out because of the testimony of Oya, Obatala, then the help of Shango, it is time for Oshun to go. She goes to the forest, takes off her clothes, dance in front at the edge of the forest, and brings Ogun. People know Ogun as the warrior, but what my Luo told me that day, he said Obatala starts all wars because war is the absence of not only intelligence but wisdom. The day you have to kill a man for something that the earth has provided him with more than you, but you have something more than him, he say there may be some intelligence, but there's no wisdom. So these 18 years as a priest of Obatala have taught me many things. And sometimes, my brother, you just don't know how much patience and wisdom you have because you can get tired.
True.
I started this journey off, I had maybe, 5 pieces of gray hair. And even though I have a mohawk now, I still have just
accumulated.
It's just great.
No, but I say that to say as a young initiator of Obatala, I found out right after I was initiated, the tests get more, the frustrations start to come, and the patience hard to come by. And then the same thing we talk about with the gray hair, I never had it. It start to come here.
Yeah.
You know, and I always say to really understand the way of Orishala Ubalufun, Uba Pata Pata, is to sit with an elder who is grounded, who has that knowledge, that wisdom, and that understanding from time to really understand how Orishala works. Because I got a book from Orishala She, you know, about Obatala the longest divinity. And trust me, to walk the walk of Orisha is not easy. It's not. So
and depends, and also depending on your Orisha and your Odu, why your Ori chose this Orisha is the best of whatever it is you're going to be. Shangos are kings in their own way. They don't have much patience. Oguns are kings in their own way. They don't deal with a lot of people. They all find the characteristics, the attributes, and the functions of an Orisha. It also lines up with the personality, the characteristics, and the functions of you. If you really want to get to know your Orisha, get to know yourself.
True.
The best of what you're going to learn about Obatala, my brother, is understanding your own journey. From all the women and men you've come in contact with, why you chose these parents, this is another expression of Obatala. Along with your Odu, that is an expression of Obatala. My first book was The Adventures of Obatala by Ele Buyibon. Yemi Ele Buyibon. Old book. And I read the book and I said, And then I got to thinking. And I think someone asked me once before, when was the first time I knew I was Obatala? And I said, well, I have to go back before I even knew Ifa. I came home from playing basketball one day, and I was hungry. And I fixed my plate with white rice, white mashed potatoes, white bread, and a glass of milk. And my mother said, you don't have nothing green on that plate, boy.
True.
I just wanted to eat that. So when people told me it's like govern white foods, I was like, oh. And then at night I would sneak in there and stick my hand in a bag of shredded coconut and just eat it. I must have been, what, 16, 17 years old. So.
I discovered mine at about 15, but it never paid me no mind until I got older that I start to understand it. We have approximately 2 minutes here before the ads come up. Okay. I wanted to deal with this question by Daniel John, that's Baba from Point Fortin, Baba Mello. He says, Aboraboy, is there a perspective of Ifa as to the new age of Aquarius and the fifth dimensional resonation of the earth?
Is there a connection or is there a
perspective?
Well, you know, when you're coming into America, okay, you're coming into a big melting pot. I think there's a place for it, but you have to understand exactly where that place is. Because when a person comes to you for a reading, they don't have a clue of an Odu and a Pataki.
True.
They're thinking you're a psychic, you got tarot cards, things like that. For you to drop an Opwele or Yuzi King, they'd be like, what is that? Because they're waiting for a crystal ball or something, right?
True.
When you speak about New Age is not really new. It's just in a new. It's in a new age.
Yeah.
But it's always been there.
It's just this season.
It has a place for it as if you're looking to expand information. Universal energy lines itself up. Numbers, shapes, sizes, colors, gifts, capacities, deities. They all have it. If I know Ogun, then I know Herokuti and Kemet. If I know the meaning of Asar, I know the meaning of Obatala. You understand what I'm saying?
True.
But I don't do rituals to Asar. I don't pray to Asar. But I understand why it's important to know Asar because I can learn more about Obatala.
True.
I also know there's an aspect of a deity called Kunum in Kemet. That one that sits at the potter's wheel and shapes all human beings and forms out of clay.
Similar to Obatala.
Similar to Obatala. So why not study that?
True.
And people say, oh, well, that is not Ifa. It is Ifa. But it's not the primary lessons. When you have references, when you have other modalities, they can enhance your consciousness.
True.
Instead of you trying to memorize everything about Odu and Orisha, there are other ways to study things.
True.
So, Baba, I'd like to thank you for taking the time off. I mean, I wish you could have gotten some more time.
Well, my apologies, but
I heard you had a busy day today.
Yeah, I was on 20 times.
You know, and I mean, it's a privilege to have you here to
Thank you.
impart this knowledge to us and to the listening public and those of the folks on Street 919 FM Facebook page, also on Iwer TV on YouTube, you know, here by the Soca Monarch Giant, you know, Iwer George, you know, the Water Lord. And I must say, it's a privilege for having you here to take this time to edify and educate us. And I hope that we can keep this link and this connection for as long as possible, where we can impart more knowledge, you know, get to know more about your foundation and what you do, and to the brother outside, you know. We just switch on the cameras as we would have had them in the shot. So I must say thanks, Shaka. You want to say anything in closing?
Baba, I would just want to say thank you to you and your God brother here for coming and enhancing. You know, we give thanks to the knowledge and the experiences shared. And
Thank you.
It's something that has added to my life.
I share.
So I give thanks. And I hope
thank
that
you all. Yeah, thank you all for
same
opening up. Yeah.
sentiment is shared by the listening public, because we heard a little, but it was so much.
No, it was very
expansive.
Very compact.
So we give thanks.
So I say thank you very much as we...
I have a website too, if they want to read. It's,
let's say your website.
It's obafemi.org. OBAFEMI.org.
Not Obafemi.
No.
Obafemi.
Obafemi. No Obafemi. Just obafemi.org.
Even if while in the US we could do a same interview here via Zoom.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Because I believe you have so much to share, and I only get like one channel here from here.
I would even share on the radio here. When I had started my journey, he doesn't even know. I was one of his students on YouTube.
What? Whoa, okay.
With H. Yogbe Oyekum Mechi. And he was in a class.
Yeah.
And he had it on
the board.
On a board. He doesn't even know. So I sat here and I like watching.
So you still got these videos on YouTube?
I don't. It's a few. Most are embedded in the website. Yeah, we reached a lot of people. I didn't know how popular. Well, I was in New York at a festival in Brooklyn, and guy just started talking to me, knew everything, and my goddaughter said, "You know him?" I said, "No." Then she went back and they said, "Well, we see him on YouTube."
Yeah.
And I was at that point, I did not know how popular that was. Because I was really doing it. We had streaming problems.
Yes.
And so my godson said, just put them on YouTube. It'll be easily embedded and people can see. So it was really for the few godchildren. Next thing I know, it was boom.
And he had on a cap.
Yeah.
I was
and I have some beautiful. We both have beautiful traditional clothes, but you see, we was moving around today.
So folks, we are time is against us. Coming up next, you know, is the Pastor Wayne Johnson VSOP live broadcast all the way out from New York City. Be coming up next. So I thank you guys here for tuning in, logging in, and listening to one of the most powerful programs in Trinidad and Tobago, the Ifa Orisha Way of Life, with myself, Alatumishi, MC Duke, and King Shaka. And thanks to my guests, Baba, I thank you, and I thank your God brother here for your presence. You know, did we get the name? Shango Dari.
He is the founder and president of the Gan Philosophy Institute.
Okay.
So he's incorporated a lot of modalities to help our organization and a lot of people. So we travel a lot together, sharing the knowledge and
I mean it's tough here that's beaten New York boy, but I want to make that trip down south, you know, to check on
Come on
the
down.
elders, you know.
We got plenty of room.
You know, so I must say thanks, folks. See you guys next week right here, same place, same time, on the Ifa Orisha Way of Life on the Street 919 FM.
Ashe.